Hello, everyone, my dear viewers, and thank you for coming to my channel. And before you start the video, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. I will be very pleased, so let's go. We meet the main character named Tatsu. He is the former most dangerous yakuza in Tokyo nicknamed Immortal Dragon. But now he is just a housewife who cooked dinner for his wife, but she did not take him with her because she was too hasty. Tatsu decided to catch up with her, but got into the hands of the police. Then our hero came Coma Voyager, an unscrupulous man trying to sell a Tatsu knife 3 times too high, but because of his intense fear of yakuza, and he's not doing so well, our hero decided to protest the knives and made a chopped steak that turned out to be so delicious. I'm sure the guy decided to switch jobs to a more relaxed one. Then he introduces a former Tatsu subordinate named Masa. The kid accidentally notices the boss and begins to get at him. Say, where have you been? Eventually, Tatsu says that he is now a housewife, and they get together in a home economics class. The masses can't deal with the boss's new lifestyle, and they get violent, so they get punched in the face. Then our Tatsu goes on sale, and this is a very dangerous place. On the way to the mall, our hero accidentally flies into the car of the boss of the other family, who was just discussing how he would retaliate. The chase begins, during which the boys, without realizing it, began to help our hero. In the end, the boss could not kill Tatsu because he gave him gloves that reminded a gangster of his mother. I agree, the retelling sounds stupid, but in anime, it was pretty sweet. Our hero then buys for his wife a figurine and a special edition of the world's popular anime Criminal Police. Turns out Miku has his wife's name, it's his birthday, but it turns out he already has one. Tatsu in tilt and wants to cut off his finger in apology, but his wife did not allow. And then there is a small episode about a crazy cat named Jin. First, he picks up ants, then he hits the sparrows, then the frog, and in the end, he stumbles across a big dog named Elizabeth, who's caught in her own collar. And our wool not only didn't help her, but even more confused the dog. In short, a typical cat. Our Tatsu is cleaning the apartment for the boss' arrival, and he has the first student, namely the robot vacuum cleaner, whom he trusts to clean one of the rooms. Only the Jin, like a typical cat, is not very good with technology, so in the course of confusion, he destroyed the floor of the apartment. Here comes the boss, who happens to be an elderly woman from the club of housewives, and sees a half-dead Tatsu. This is, by the way, the most popular party in this anime. Then our hero is asked to sit with the neighbor's child. A badly painted kid, of course, is afraid to be alone with a dangerous criminal. Tatsu first bribed the kid with cookies, but then he ruined everything with old Persian gambling. I had to bribe the kid again, this time a figure of criminal police, but the guy broke it immediately and had to bury the figure. He is a yakuza. Then we have another episode with the mask. It was slowed down by local gangs. There will be a fight, and our blonde begins to Google how to fight against the crowd. I confess at this moment I giggled. You can hit me, I have nothing to be ashamed of. Just passing the taku and took a passive part in the fight. He and the bat and stabbed and tried to stab, but nothing worked out as the guys gave back, and the mask decided to take the path of the housewife. They made a high chair. I don't know why you have this information. And our Tatsu suddenly noticed that he recovered. He began physical education at home, but his wife quickly kicked him out to the gym, as the hut was too small. Tatsu, as a housewife, of course, integrated into the collective with other housewives, with their dens, aerobics, yoga, and other strange physical activity. And of course, our hero accidentally looked into the women's locker room. Without such moments, animators do not watch anime. Next, our couple went shopping. Tatsu forbids the Miku to buy any cool stuff, such as soda, video games, and figure. It turns out that some people are afraid of our yakuza. Mika decides to dress up a husband, but in the end, it turns out a gangster from the movies of the 80s. But the situation is saved by a pink apron with characters from the criminal police. Well, at least these two seem to. People then understand that it is a cringe. And then we are waiting for another wool prank. In short, the Jin came to another cat's house and began to poop right on his lawn. Well, That's the whole joke. And yes, I laughed at it. Next thing we know, there's another super gangbanger named Tarazira, who just got off the grid and now works in a pancake van. They had a battle with Tatsu right away, who makes the coolest desserts. The winner of the truth did not find, as in fact, these two do not need. Then our couple goes to buy a car. Tatsu does a test drive queue on wheels. Seriously, what is this form factor? And then the hero starts a wild paranoia. They say all around the enemy want to kill him, although before that had not happened. In general, they could not buy a car. Then our Tatsu and the masses are faced with dirty underwear, literally, which, by the way, is a pretty healthy episode for all the kids who are just entering adulthood. Do not wash white-colored things at the same time. Soak up before washing complicated spots. Choose the right temperature for washing, otherwise your things will go down. Useful and it turns out our hero has too many hobbies and no place for them in the house. Mika is forced by her husband to sell unwanted items at a local sale. The hero agrees with a squeak. At the fair, of course, there are bandits who want to protect this event, but Tatsu calls them to talk. The head of these scumbags recognized the immortal dragon and his legs began to tremble with fear. In the end, the guys gave back, and Tatsu gave them all sorts of things for the house. Meanwhile, the police keep watching our hero, and he's growing something at home. So the cops thought it was illegal stuff, started tracking down the Tatsu. The cops followed the yakuza to the diner, and the young man decided it was time to catch the bandits red-handed. They broke into the place and found it was just the birthday of the head of the housewives club. The cops tried to dig into the car, of course, but all he had on him were basil and scented flowers as a gift to the chapter. By the way, our Tatsu also goes to volleyball, again with other housewives. Suddenly, another team shows up and calls the housewives for a friendly match. They turn out to be a gang of bears, and it's also a yakuza, and their boss is doing volleyball to lose weight. And maybe he watched anime volleyball. It's a really popular in Japan. In general, there is a powerful nick in which housewives lose, but it surprised the two teams. Then our couple goes off on their day-to-day business, and everywhere Tatsu does something strange and even a little suspicious, but it turns out that he just collects stickers to participate in the lottery. Tatsu already for the 10th time trying his luck, but never gets his coveted Dyson vacuum cleaner, but he won a funny dog. Then she introduces the parents of the Mika. They accidentally came to visit the young, and we immediately understand that the parents are generally well-disposed to Tatsu, although the father of the Miku cannot find points of contact, so they decide to throw a ball. It actually helped men get closer, and it sounded weird, but you get it. Then comes the battle of Tatsu and Miku against the cockroach. Guess who won? Yeah, the arthropod won. But then they lit a citrus aroma candle, and the cockroach ran away. Something I have never heard of such a method. If you have cockroaches at home, you need to call the exterminators, not burn candles. Next, our Tatsu pretends to be the Santa for the kids, that he is very bad, and all his gifts are food. Meanwhile, our Tatsu got a job working at a cafe to earn some money for a gift to his wife. There were two gangsta who, like many people, actually like nice things. It's got lattice and a cat and an omelette with a gangster on it, and a big parfait, so it went well. Tatsu then pleases his wife after a hard day's work. There's good food and refreshing lemonade, head massager, foot warmer, bubble wrap, and even a cat in your hands, full of beluni. She then meets another crime boss. Her name is Tori Shack, and her family has fallen apart. So now she has to work at the grocery store where you and I went to meet Tatsu. The girl turned out to be quite proud, but responsible. She admitted her mistake when she accidentally struck the same product twice. Meanwhile, the Miku and the masses are trying to prepare a birthday party for the Tatsu, but these two crooked creatures did not even cope with the salads. So the hero had to redo everything for them. But the main thing is attention from the loved ones, so everything is fine. And finally, we have the final. Tatsu comes to meet his former boss, who walks with a funny dog. Men talk about life, and then in the park come familiar Tatsu. They also walk with dogs and notice that the boss has a skinny dog. It turns out, for some reason, he refuses to eat because of what he loses weight. Our hero does not long think, makes an amazing dish for dogs. I even wanted to eat it myself. The dog, of course, happily eats, and the boss decides not to disturb Tatsu and let him live a normal life as a housewife. However, whether he will or not, we will know only in the second season, which also consists of 5 series. My story is over, and if you liked my video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video.